Alright, hello. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm joined by my friend Lincoln Incan, who is a very talented magic alterist. I have one minute. What are your pronouns?
Oh, he, him.
Alright, I have one of his altars in my infamous Braids deck, and I'm very proud of it.
Yay.
It's in my collection of altars. Let me switch to my camera. There you go. It's a windfall that turned out really good.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. And then I made my back to basics in your similar to your style.
Yeah.
But this Braves deck, I'm slowly getting all the pieces for. I just got a etched or debossed Stormtide Leviathan from a small deer.
Stormtide is firmly in one of my favorite pet cards.
Yeah, it's it is the only real big beater in my entire Braves deck. And a lot of people are like, oh, Braves, you cheat out Giant Eldrazi. Mine doesn't. I cheat out weird artifacts.
Hey, I think it's always fun to throw the things that people aren't expecting at them. Especially if they've never seen a specific card before. Um, I used to throw the Stormtide in my Rasputin deck, where it's all just forcing people to go into combat
Huh.
and giving them goblins.
Interesting.
Um, then you'd throw out stuff just to control combat, like Stormtide.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've ran Stormtide in my giant Joyride list, where it was like Joyride big stuff, where it's the one where you suspend everything.
Oh yeah.
And I've ran Stormtide in my Braids deck.
Nice.
In Big Joyra, it was pretty good because like I built the deck on like a $50-$60 budget,
Yeah.
and it was a pretty fun addition because it would just lock the game down with all their little beaters.
Yeah. Little effects like that are super nice, especially whenever you can kind of brew around it too.
Yeah, and my Braids deck, its whole thing is I call it group symmetry. So it tries to make the board state of all players like it tries to make all players' gameplay experience as equal as possible.
Nice.
And what's a better way to do that than making sure all creatures cannot attack?
Exactly.
Well, with the exception, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then it has a bunch of other like each player effects and all that. It's really fun to play
Yeah.
and really frustrating to play against.
I have a few decks that fall into that camp. I have. I think I've mentioned we've bonded over our shared love of Yes Man.
Yes,
Um,
I
and I just 2 days ago terrorized a few people with it.
I had a Yes Man deck. I liked it in theory, but in practice it was really boring.
Yeah.
I still like the card.
I
It's still a cool card, but like the deck was lame.
oh yeah. I have a fondness for the way that I built mine to where it's it the fact that I can kind of turbo fog in the EDH circles is funny. Or running just mass amounts of fogs
Yeah.
and untaps to draw more cards.
Mm. Mine was like a weird token slash politics deck.
I have I did a little bit of politicking, but for the most part it was all right, I'm gonna cast like three 1 mana white instants that let me untap a creature with his effect on the stack, and I'm gonna end up drawing 8 cards. You can have Yes Man, and then I'll be set for a while.
Yeah. I liked the deck in theory, but in practice it was weird. I might rebuild it eventually because I have a extended art Yes Man that I pulled from the little collector booster samplers that you get from buying the decks.
Oh yeah.
And I bought all the Fallout decks, so
I'm trying to like get a hold of just like as many of those like surge foils as possible, just because they're becoming very very popular,
yeah,
and I'm just like, ooh, would rather get them for the decks that I need while they're cheaper and pretty.
they're definitely cool. I'm trying to think if I have any in any of my main decks. I think I have a Surge Foil, some stuff in my Xeris deck, like Lord of the Rings Surge Foil.
Oh
Then
yeah.
I think I have a Surge Foil. Not Battle for Hoover Dam. Um, it's the blue enchantment that like it's from Fallout.
Is it the one that forces your opponents to draw cards and then
Yes,
you?
yes,
Yeah, yeah. I know the one that you were mentioning, but I just don't remember.
its name. Yeah, it's not Battle for Hoover Dam, but it's along those lines.
But yeah.
But anyway, introduce yourself. I introduced you a little
Yeah,
bit. Tell us about yourself.
yeah. My name is Lincoln or Lincoln Incan. I do a lot of alter stuff. I do a lot of like just illustration in general. But alters kind of like takes the cake for me in a lot of ways. I've recently started doing like playmats and like card sleeve commissions and stuff like that too,
Oh, that's
which has
cool.
been a lot of fun.
I've
But
seen your
yeah.
playmats. I haven't seen your sleeve commissions.
Yeah, I just did one, and it was in the same. It was from one of the people that got the playmats and wanted like matching sleeves, basically. So
Interesting.
did it in a similar style to the Sisay playmat that I did.
Hell yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, but
I
yeah, that's kind of me. But yeah.
Hell yeah. So what are you working on now?
So this is. I figured I would work on some thumbnails for an upcoming commission that I have going. I am hugely biased towards like making thumbnails for work, so that I am like prepared whenever I start the final commission itself. So it's like a lot of my sketchbooks are just like filled with old thumbnail drawings and everything.
Yeah, I feel that.
But
I don't do them in sketchbooks. I do them on index cards.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm fairly certain I have a stack of those around here too.
So like
But yeah.
I have one switching to my camera view. I have one for a Tivit I did that was really cool. One for Kark. One for Helm of the Host. One for a Fallout inspired Kinnan.
Nice.
This is for a Blood Artist, but I got stuff on it. That's just a blank index card.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just do a lot of like I do thumbnails, and then I'll just kind of like have those just in the background and use it as the same sheet that I like clean all the markers on while I'm
Oh,
working on the
nice.
altar.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. I love that.
Yeah. I think I actually have that one stack over here. Yeah. So by doing the thumbnails, it lets me like kind of get it as close as I want on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget my yawning. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I have a drawing of Tezzeret vaping.
He would. I feel like he would.
He does.
He's stressed enough.
No, Tezzeret canonically vapes.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm pretty sure I knew that at some point.
Uh,
Because it wasn't it like whenever he went back to like Kamigawa or something, they included like a little bit about him vaping.
I think it was Agents of Artifice.
Okay.
It described him like he had like a vape throne. What did I
But
do?
yeah.
But I do those on index cards, and then I do the pencil sketch as a proof of concept, and then I say, here's the proof of concept. Here's what I'd like done, and they're like, all right, that sounds cool, and then I do it.
Yeah.
Though every now and then I get a handful of ones where they're like, do whatever you want or surprise me, and I'm like, okay.
Those are fun too. I really enjoy those as like a challenge. I I don't do like a lot necessarily a crazy amount of like referenced work,
Neither
like
do I.
recreating things that are already like an illustration outside of a few things that I've done. So whenever people are like, do make something from your own mind, I'm always like, yes, cool.
I exclusively do things from my own mind, unless like I have a good reason to.
Yeah, I think I've done a few before that are specific. Like there's all of the like I've done Howl's Moving Castle before. That
Yeah.
one's a really fun, a very popular composition. But I think it's really fun to kind of like take down the technicalities of it.
Uh, that's one of those ones where like you see Howl's Moving Castle, you see the the bathhouse from Spirited Away. You see
Yeah,
Rick and Morty on Ponders. You see Pinky and the Brain on Ponders.
I've done a few Rick and Mortys before.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's one of those ones where like almost every alterist does like one of those things at some point.
yeah, it's kind of like a rite of passage for a lot of things.
Everyone does a Soul Ring at some point, and the Soul Ring is really cool.
Yeah, I feel like I love Soul Ring for the fact that it's probably one of the most altered magic cards out there, and you have to like try and like I mean I usually am just like, how do I do this in a way that I haven't done it before? It's
Yeah.
cool problem solving.
Mm. I always try to approach my Soul Rings with like a unique premise or idea.
Yeah.
But these are I haven't pulled up just because whatever. These are two altars I have that like the person who paid for them said just do whatever.
Hell yeah.
It's Gateway Plaza. They're both foil.
What is your favorite thing about working on foil cards?
I like. So my favorite foils are the ones where like I do them a certain way. So I do all of my altars. I'm not sure how you do them, but I do all my altars. I prime them with white first, and with
Nice.
with the foil ones, I use acetone and I remove the layer of stuff, and then I prime them with white, and then I start coloring, and then I get a toothpick, and I just slowly and carefully scratch off the elements that I want the foil to pop out with,
Oh yeah.
and it usually turns out pretty good.
Hell yeah. I really love like working with this is just also my preference for favorite foils in general, but I'm a huge I don't know the general mass opinion on it, but I love me some like the foil etched cards where it's just like dark mode.
Yeah, those are cool. Those ones
Yeah.
technically are they're foil, but they're not that foil.
Yeah. I like to they're nice. They keep the like I have to work on them less to kind of make sure that the like the paints stick into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is? Oh, okay. So I have a random card sticking out that I forgot where it came from. But I had some foils that were really cool where I did them in black and white, and then the the black I doubled over with ink
Nice.
with one of these little ink pens. Like their ink brush pens, I really like.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of these Pigma fine brush pens.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have. Only mine's not Pigma.
Yeah, but brush pens are amazing. I love them.
But I go over the altar with white, then I do it with black paint first, and then I scratch off parts of the white to make the foil pop, and then I double over the black with the ink, and it creates this really unique effect.
Hell yeah.
I don't have a foil of that style, but I do have a regular altar that's doubled with the black ink that I showed off a few streams ago. It's an ad nause.
Nice. Do you find yourself I know that you have a CDH deck. Do you like to do you like do you have a preference towards like CDH cards altering wise or
When I can afford them, yeah, because CDH players like spending money.
that is true. It's one of the few formats where it's like, yes, we're proxy friendly, but if you play at a store and you see a pretty version of the card that you have in a deck, most of the time they will also buy the pretty version of the card.
Yeah, and uh, the hard part is with a lot of CDH cards, I can't afford them. So I have to when I get my hands on spares, I have to alter. I usually alter them, though. Usually,
Yeah.
I have to sell them off just to afford to pay bills.
I get that.
I've been looking at my current CDH list, which is outdated. I need to update it, but there's a few pieces in it where I'm like, I don't play you, and I don't think the new version of the deck plays you. So like, I'm looking at the Green Goblin mask like I could sell it. I know I probably shouldn't, but whatever.
I definitely there's a few times where I definitely weigh the necessities of having some of like the more like a lot of the I guess the preface is a lot of the CDH tournaments around here are like use a 10 proxy limit.
Yeah.
So they're a lot of people get pretty creative around here. Yeah.
There's one store kind of near me that does CDH proxy friendly. The rest of the places are pretty proxy hostile.
Which is still pretty crazy to me, but I get it if they're doing like certain level of payouts, but yeah.
I get it, but at the same point, with the exception of one store, which is a WotC premium store, and like they can't have proxies no matter what they're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, I understand it. That's fine. Cool, whatever. But for like every other store, there's enough of a CDH audience, and like CDH can only be played non-sanctioned for the most part.
Yeah.
Like SCG Con does sanctioned CDH, but like they're really the only ones who does it. But it's a non-sanctioned event, and WotC only monitors and like is worried about sanctioned events. So you can, as long as it's not sanctioned, you can safely run a proxy-friendly CDH tournament.
Which I think that seems to be like the direction that they're heading in terms of just like their preference is kind of keeping a lot of the CDH in like unsanctioned events for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I have Kark and Sakashima as my CDH list, and Kark decks are in a good spot in the CDH meta, so like it's mid-range hell, and it's more mid-range hell than it was. And Kark and Sakashima kind of like thrive in the mid-range as long as like creature removal's light.
Oh yeah, I in one tournament that I was in recently, it was luckily a game where we had a buy, but we just kind of like played it out anyway.
Okay.
And I was very happy that we buyed because the Kraken Sakashima deck at the table just kind of like thrashed us.
It's a brutal deck when
It
it
was
gets
a
going.
Oh yeah, it's like there's enough of a in mass factor to it where it's like, well, you can counter one thing, but you're not going to be able to counter the 28 other things.
Yeah. It does kind of struggle with creature removal,
Yeah, that's fair.
but usually if you can find a meta where they're not playing creature removal, you can play Kraken Sakashima fairly well.
Yeah.
Kraken Silas is a little bit faster. Kraken Silas is just like a modified. It's I call it situationally better Roger Silas,
Yeah.
where Rogsai is a little bit more. It's a little faster. It's a little bit like more resilient on the front end, like first few turns. But if you're not in those first few turns and you don't get it, then like Rogsai just sucks.
Yeah.
It does not play the late game well.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, it's one of those decks where people are very, or they should be. They should be in the know before they even like take their hands. So it's like, all right, Roxai at the table. How are we going to benefit from this? Or like everybody get your remores ready, all that.
Yeah. Whilst Krark Silas does a little bit better in the mid game, it's not as fast, but like because of Krark, you can leverage some of your spells a bit better. And some Krark Silas, that's not all of them, kind of leverage how terrifying Krark can be by using it as
Oh
bait.
yeah.
They use it as bait. Like, you're not going to target a Roger. Roger doesn't do anything. But if you target Krark, Krark can get really out of hand really fast.
Oh yeah.
So if they waste a removal spell on your Krark, sure, it sucks, but like, you just play someone else that you want to play with more, like, that's more valuable.
Absolutely. There's a. I'm currently trying out flubs for my locals, and it's been fun. I'm such a brewer like pilled magic player where it's like even if I take like an established list, I have to like take out at least like 5 cards just to kind of like see for myself. But it's been funny because you can do similar things in flubs where you just kind of like bait people like here's a food chain. Do you want to counter it?
Yeah. Is it a variation on the two deep list? I know it's your custom list, but is it a variation on the two deep list?
I looked up. I'm bad etiquette for not remembering the list that I originally took from like EDH Top 16 and like cut a bunch of stuff out. But it's a I've changed a lot of mine. I took out a lot of like the things that I consider like it's also probably weird to say I didn't enjoy Displacer Kitten in the deck.
That's fair.
Um, because like I understand that it's like the neoform target for flubs, but it was just like it feels like a liability whenever you're trying to like set up everything. It's
Oh.
like cool, I'm gonna get all this stuff going, and I drew a 4 drop. And like whenever you get like a hand weight in flubs, it feels so bad if you can't reset yourself.
Yeah. I've not familiarized myself with flubs yet, but the deck seems really fun.
It is. It is. I mean, as somebody who likes kind of storm esky kind of things, I feel like that you would have some fun with it.
Yeah. I might proxy it off one of these days. I just don't play enough CDH for it to matter.
That's fair.
I used to play it a ton. I used to play it over webcam. I used to play it with my local meta, which is the playing with power team is my local meta.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So it's a very like diverse yet concrete meta. You just like keep in touch with everybody, but once you do, the meta's pretty good.
Oh yeah. We at least at my general group that I play with, we have a pretty diverse spread. I like that we have. I'm usually the person who brings like a lot of like off meta decks.
Yeah.
But it's nice because I can rely on all the other people to bring meta decks, so I can be like, ah, cool, this works exactly how I thought it would.
Yeah. But Flubs and Karksire 2 decks I've been meaning to build. Like proxy off.
Yeah, uh, or Clark Sakashima or like Kirk.
Kark Silas. I have Kark Sakashima.
Nice. Nice.
Kark Sakashima I've had since it was a deck in the first place.
Oh yeah.
I've been with that deck since day one, more or less. I'm one of the main moderators of the Kark Discord, and I'm not the de facto artist, but I'm one of the most recognizable and iconic artists in the Kark Discord.
Hell yeah.
I've done these custom little tokens that help represent the stack. Where
I
one
love that.
you're saying?
Oh yeah, no, I love that it's a format where uh we can like collectively agree like we need a little physical reminder for ourselves of where things are.
Yeah. So I made these Kark triggers to help with Kark, right? They're Kark to help with Kark triggers. And on
Yeah.
the original version, one side said trigger, and the other side said count, as like storm count or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But the new version says copy on the back,
Hmm.
which is better. So tell us about your art. I mean, you mentioned it some, but like, what do you do? What got you into it?
So I have always done a lot of like I went to school for illustration,
Oh, cool.
and I did a lot of ink work is kind of where I stemmed from with that. Um, so I was kind of focused on like creature design, ink worky kind of stuff, and I had a lot of like I. It's where a lot of my basis in love for it comes from, but right after I got out of school, that's kind of like right whenever COVID happened, and like so many like job opportunities just kind of like disappeared. Um, so I kind of like took a pause on art for a while, and then eventually, sometime around or in COVID, I figured out. I'm surprised I didn't know beforehand, but I figured out that the Magic community has a really cool, like, just art community in it.
Yeah.
Um, and so I found out about like altars and everything, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I already draw small already, to the point where uh, it has been a not quite a boon before, but I've always drawn quite small, so I'm just like this actually works out really well for me. Um, so I tried to start doing altars, and I just kept going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So what got you into drawing in the first place?
Ooh, first place. Gosh, it's got to be a mixture of many things. I was a kid left to my own devices for many in many ways, so it definitely didn't help, or definitely helped to be like, well, I have seen Naruto once, and now I want to make my own ninja, and like that kind of gets you going, and
I feel
you
that
just
for
kind of
sure.
keep going.
I definitely
Yeah.
understand that. I once convinced a teacher, because I was in suspension because I was a rough kid in middle school and high school,
Mm.
but I once convinced a teacher that I wanted to be a game designer, because I did for a while. And so me
Mm.
studying Mortal Kombat in suspension was me studying to further my career goals.
Hell yeah.
And as long as I drew a custom Mortal Kombat character, it would display that I was like learning something.
I had a similar thing in my classes. I grew up in like rural Missouri, so
Oh yikes!
we didn't we oh yeah, it was like a we had an art program, but it was like I was the only person really in the like later on art programs. So they were just like, hey, you obviously know what you're doing. Just do what you want as long as you're like making stuff. And I was like, cool, I'll do that.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
originally grew up in southernish Ohio, like south central Ohio, like Dayton area, and then moved to rural Indiana, Warsaw area, Fort Wayne area, for quite some time, and then moved back to like Ohio, same part of Ohio. Then I've been at that part of Ohio since, for the most part. I went to college 2 hours south, so if you see a picture of the state of Ohio, like that little point at the bottom, kinda, that's kind of where I went to
Mhm.
college.
All right.
College was a mess, and I dropped out. I kind of wish I didn't, but I did what I had to do at the time.
Yeah, there's also just like a certain point where it's like, you know, I got through illustration or my like illustration college, and by the end of it, I was also just like, well, the main point that a lot of them told you was like, hey, know people, and I was like, okay, cool, thank you.
Yeah.
That is a yeah. So, but it's like it's nice to find like I found the one of the main takeaways that I got from it was just like I like being in a community of peers that push me to make more things.
Yeah.
Um,
I just like being
and that's the
involved.
yeah. Just like I like being around people also making art, and that makes me want to make more art, and that's good.
Yeah. You gotta come up with a little cartoon character so you can join Graham Corp and Fox Not Common Eye when we shitpost with each other.
I've never been able to make like a comedic little version of myself art wise.
It's hard. Like, it's
It
really
is
hard.
hard. It really is because you're just like, how do I want to be seen as like a silly little guy? Like how do I encompass my own being?
Yeah. I ended up settling on my little robots,
Yeah,
and those robots have stuck with me. I like drawing, but I just don't get a chance to draw them that often.
yeah,
I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna do with this Gamble altar I'm working on. It's gonna be a full altar with little black border because I like doing those. But I haven't
yeah.
decided what I want to be the artwork.
Is
And
it a personal piece?
it is for a client, but it is a. So I work with Chaos, which is a CDH group
Nice.
and a CDH person, and they do charity events. They do charity um, giveaways and all that.
Hell yeah.
And I've done a lot of Chaos like altars for Chaos, and they've auctioned them off. So Chaos,
Nice.
the person, asked me if I could do some altars for the Chaos group to give out at some of their various events. That's what the ad nauseum I showed off earlier was for. Then I have a
Oh,
gamble.
cool, cool.
Then I have a gamble, and then I have a heuristic study. The heuristic study is going to be
Nice.
Chaos's cat because like drawing cats is my whole little shtick with Chaos because it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, the gamble I said I was going to make kind of like in the style I really enjoy making, and just nobody really buys it. But if it's given out for free, then
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they like it or not. It's free.
Exactly.
And, like, I understand why full art ones don't sell often because you need to have the text.
Yeah, there's like people. I think it also like just comes down to people have different preferences for it too.
Yeah, but I feel Gamble is one of those cards where like you kind of know what it does.
Yeah, it puts a card from your library into your graveyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So
I mean, it's pretty
for
cool card.
oh yeah, for your gamble, what's some vibes that you're thinking about for it?
I almost thought about drawing one of my robots for it, but I don't know how I
Nice.
would display the robot.
Hmm.
Then I have an idea for a slot machine as well.
I was about to say, like, slot machine is a pretty. If you're going for like a techno-y kind of gambly kind of vibe, slot machine would go pretty hard.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of detail, and I'm not quite sure if I can pull off that level of detail while still maintaining the same sort of minimalist style.
That's fair.
I'm thinking on it, but it's part. I've done other full art cards that like I wish sold better.
Oh yeah. I mean, gosh, I'm not one to. I kind of like. I haven't like sold a lot of my like practice pieces, and it's not for the fact of like hoarding them or anything. I just like I just kind of haven't gotten around to doing it. So I have like a nice big stack of altars at any given point of just things that I've done for practice.
Yeah, and those look sick.
But I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of have like a nice body of work on hand too.
Yeah, but here are some of the full art ones I've done that I'm really proud of. I've done Morphic Pool, which turned out really good. Done Spectator Seating, which turned out really good. Thoughtseize, which the back of it's damaged, but the the card's still sleeve playable.
Oh yeah.
So if it's in a cube or whatever. And then, of course, I did a Soul Ring, which is like holding back the sun.
Hell yeah.
Then I had a counter spell that I was really proud of too that I gave to a friend as a thanks.
Yeah, I have a do you run into the issue of having like commissions for people and then your commissions for your friends and you're like, ooh, uh need to finish some of these for the friends, but also
Yes,
people pay me to do other things.
absolutely. That's what took me so long with my quiver that I was working on. Is
Hmm.
the quiver that I was working on? I offered to do for free because I let the community vote on who they wanted to win,
Oh cool.
and whoever got voted for won the piece.
Oh hell yeah.
And it was Jeremy Sporefrog.
Oh yeah.
He won it, and I made the quiver, which I was working on in the past few art streams, and I'll show off here. But that's what that looks like. But I kept putting that on the back burner because it wasn't a paid work.
Yeah.
But it did turn out pretty freaking cool.
Hell yeah.
Did you see a picture of it already?
I think I have seen or you were talking about the quiver, right? For
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I really like how you layered like all the colors for the base and then kind of tackled it from there, like all the frogs on there.
So I actually primed it with white first, and then I did the frogs, and then I did the colors.
Damn. Whoa, that is even more impressive.
Because the colors on the case bend with the frogs.
Oh shit, you're right.
it still follows like a general Roy G. Biv thing, but the closer you look at it, the more the colors bend and flow with the frogs.
Hell yeah.
And then all the frogs' eyeballs, other than a handful, are white. And then with Polywog Prodigy, its little water spout magic is white too.
Nice.
Which, on one hand, it looks really cool. It makes the piece pop. On the other hand, it looks like it's water bending cum.
Oh.
Which it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few times where you're just like, I have massive influence from like just in my general art style to like Adventure Time, especially whenever I first started like going to like college and everything. That's kind of like most of the style that I kind of adhered to, which has a lot of amorphous blob kind of styling to things. And I still kind of like have that tendency to kind of like whenever I do like pattern work, I'll just it's a little blob thing. But like there's times where you're just like, I hope that people just see an amorphous blob and not some other random thing.
Yeah. I don't do a whole lot of pattern work. I probably should, but I don't.
I use it as like I like pattern because it's like I will a lot of my ink work is not made to ever be like super straight. I try to stay very like gestural. So by doing like a lot of like gestural stuff, and not having like clean line work, I kind of lean more into the texture side of things.
Okay.
So like pattern work adds a lot where I can like kind of fill a space, and if I already have just errant like I guess like artifact marks for my ink work, I can just be like, yeah, it's pattern. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Here's every quiver I get, I give an altar to as well, or like a special token.
Hell yeah.
So I made a Pepe the Frog from the comic, not from the alt-right meme.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't like the creator of Pepe like end up suing like a lot of people for that exact purpose?
Yes, he sued a lot of people, and good, he should have, because
right, as the creator.
So I made a Pepe Spore Frog for Spore Frog.
Hell yeah.
I really like how it turned out. There's a really good documentary about Pepe the Frog called Feels Good Man that I'm quite fond of.
I need to see that. So, random little bit. Apparently, one of my illustration professors went to, or like, was friends with the guy.
Matt Fury, yeah.
But it was like always interesting hearing that side of things.
I mean, the artist seems like a stand-up dude.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be able to imagine like having a mascot taken like that as from a not great side of the public.
Yeah, and the documentary's good. It has animation in it, and the animation's done really well.
Oh, cool.
It has Adventure Time like animation in it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good like get stoned and watch it sort of thing. If that's your jazz, of course.
Yeah, I am on the firm Magic the Gathering is my
drug of choice.
Is my outlet for needing or for like is my Magic the Gathering is my drug of choice, is I guess the way to put it.
That's definitely fair. That's definitely fair.
So I don't know how much you see here, but
let me switch to your perspective.
This commission, it's basically we were talking about CDH. It's for Tevish Zot thralls.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they wanted like little kobolds that were in the cult to Tevish, so I have them posing like Tevish and like kind of scrubbing errant serpents around.
I did. I call them simp tokens as thralls a while back.
Nice.
I think I sent some to Rebel. I don't think Rebel uses them, but Rebel has them somewhere.
It's always it's weird to think about like sending art out into the public and like wondering like how's my little baby doing?
Exactly.
Wonder where it is now.
With the quivers, I've only done a handful of them, so I can kind of keep track a little bit
Mm.
and like ask how they're doing. With other ones, it's like I have no idea. Sometimes people message me being like, hey, I found one of your altars and it's been a while. How's things going? Other times, I'll just never hear about it again.
Yeah. But I guess there's like I don't know your relationship with art, but there's a little bit of catharsis in that sometimes too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I like people having my stuff, and it's a good feeling knowing that like people internationally have had my stuff.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is just getting little updates from people. Like I have a friend. Similarly, I have a friend who moved to Belgium, I think.
Wow.
And so like every now and then our LGS will get like a little message and be like, just took down a pod, and it'll be like a little altar that I did of I think it's the Swarm Lord from 40K.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I like seeing little snapshots of the guys that I made out there in the world.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, with how many altars I've done, I really haven't gotten that many like people saying like, "Hey, here's how it's doing."
Oh yeah, I this is I kind of like straight up tell people who commission me. I'm like, hey, if you ever like take down a really cool game of Magic the Gathering with this altar, send me pictures. I'm a proud papa. I would love
Yeah,
to see it.
I should do that more often. I've been tempted to print off like so every time somebody orders an altar from me, they also get some of my tokens. That at least if I have
Yeah.
any, as well as proxies. Though again, for legal reasons, for those listening and those watching, I do not and will not sell proxies.
Yeah, they're just like a nice kind of bonus.
They are a surprise gift.
Yeah.
I'm no way obligated to send them off, and you very well may not get any at all. Tokens you will get, proxies, who knows? Now that being said, um, I send out proxies and tokens with some of my stuff sometimes. And as like here's an extra thing, I've been tempted to send out like tokens that say, "Hey, share my stuff around." Like
Hmm.
like the mailing equivalent of like and subscribe. Which if you're watching this
Yeah.
on YouTube, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. It really helps. If you're on Twitch, make sure to give a follow.
I'm definitely like a strong oh, what do you call it? I feel like token giving out like proxies and stuff like that and tokens as well. Like they they should absolutely be your business card too.
Oh yeah, the back of all my stuff has my information on it. I need to update it
Yeah.
because it has my Twitter, my Instagram, my Ko-fi, and my linktree.
Hmm.
But I don't really use Twitter other than just to promote stuff really.
Yeah.
So I add the bluesky on the most recent update, but I haven't ordered a new print run with the new update on it. But I've been thinking about doing stickers and like a tokens that just say, "Hey, make sure to share it and let me know if you do anything cool with these.
Yeah.
Stickers would be cool, but they're just expensive.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know. I'm lucky enough to be in a area. Kansas City has like a lot of like artist fairs and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like my partner who also does illustration is lucky enough to like found like local sticker makers and stuff like
Oh, wow,
that.
that's super
Just
cool.
yeah, and it's really sometimes it's a nice deal where it's like we're friends with them, so we're just like, hey, maybe cat sit for us for a little bit, and you can have some stickers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Do they have good cats?
they do. A
That's good.
little cat named Penny.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I dog sit for my one friend sometimes, and he'll give me a pack or two in exchange.
Yeah.
I pulled a foil old border Force of Will from a Dominaria remastered
Yeah.
collector pack for watching his dog for a few days.
You know what? That it's worth it then. I'm a huge fan of barter and trade, so it's like that's the that is the sort of thing where I'm just like, hell yeah.
That's the way our future should be founded, friends.
Yeah.
Barter and trade. Hey, I have too much of this, or I have this, and could you do this thing for me? Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. Absolutely. Thank you.
Exactly. Just like, hey, local artist, here, do you want things? I like what you do. Maybe I could have things, but only if you want.
Exactly. I've been talking to a bar that I've been going to for bar trivia on Wednesdays about potentially doing some stuff in exchange for just like they have like a little like VIP member thing where you get like a shirt and you get like cheaper food.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I mentioned just as offhandedly like helping them do a video game thing for an exchange of one of that little VIP pass.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if they'll like bite, but it's an idea.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, like investing in like local places is super cool.
The hard part for me is I can't drive, and
Mm.
this is a strength and a weakness. I'm fairly opinionated, fairly radical, so that if somebody starts saying or doing stupid shit, and I'm not in the mood,
Oh, yeah.
if I'm not in the mood to be dealing with stupid shit, I'll say it,
Yeah.
and that doesn't rub well with some businesses who are just trying to make money. Like I mentioned, my one LGS is filled with centrists and libertarians, and like they don't like being corrected, and they don't like they're not willing to like think about things or change how they feel.
Yeah.
And I, I'm a queer Magic player who proxies stuff and is fairly poor. So trying to promote this more healthier, more progressive way of playing Magic, and it's just faced with like strict opposition
Mm.
by people who pay way more money than me. It's just like
You, yeah.
I'm not gonna buy from this
It's
place
hard
anymore.
to, it's also hard to change some people's viewpoint on that too. It's rough.
Yeah. With the bar I've been going to, they have a pride flag on their one wall. So that's good.
Yeah.
And other than a handful of older people who have come into the bar, nobody's like said or done anything stupid.
Yeah.
And like,
I feel like a lot of the time there is also like there's like that brand of like, oh, people just don't want to be wrong. And so it's like whenever you bring that up to them, they'll obviously they'll get a little like hurt, or not like hurt. They'll get a defensive about it,
yeah.
and then it's hard to tell people otherwise after they've already gotten defensive. But
Mm-hmm.
there is also maliciousness out there too. So
Yeah. But it's one of those things where also if I don't like a business, I'll tell other people I don't like that business.
yeah,
And That sometimes rub people the wrong way too.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
On one hand, that's really good because like I know where I stand and like I know where places welcome me and what places are like good to go and what places I should give my money to and should be supported. On the other hand, that makes it
Absolutely.
going to places a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you're making the right choice.
Yeah,
You're going to somewhere that wants you to be there.
exactly. Could we get a close up of what you're working on?
Absolutely. So I've done one side here. Um, you can kind of see it there. I do most of my thumbnail work as just kind of like black, white, and gold. Um, and that kind of helps me show them value and then also show like kind of where the pop colors will be whenever I do a color commission.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
That's turning out really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I do a lot of for a lot of my thumbnails. Like I said, I use I use a lot of sorry, my fire alarm is going off.
That's fine. Do you want to take care of that quickly?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, he'll be right back. And yes, we are questioning bad mouthing centrists, self-identified centrists are mindless cowards, which is a fact that hit confronting, and that work is looking awesome. Yes, it definitely is. Uh, I there are a few player there was a few players. Now there's only one player who was a like centrist proud boy at the one LGS in town, and he is insufferable because like he'll act normal and then he'll say like the most heinous shit and like, oh, you're back.
All right. Or everything is as it should be.
That's good.
Yeah,
Your partner.
my partner was reheating their food, so just kind of got a little smoky.
Yeah, I was complaining about how in the one LGS there is a centrist proud boy,
Ah.
which I don't know how that works out. I'm not going to ask how that works out because those are two things where like you think it wouldn't really work out. Like proud boys have very
Yeah.
strong opinions on things, and centrists have no opinions on anything except the
There's
stuff they do.
definitely, and I imagine that he doesn't like being told as such.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I had to kick him and his buddy out of my playgroup a while back because they started like saying some neo-Nazi shit,
Oh fuck.
and they were trying to indoctrinate me into it. I'm like, wait a minute, I appreciate all the free stuff and going to see a movie with y'all, but like, the more you talk, the more I realize that this is a bad idea.
The gosh, one of the more recent cartoons that came out, the Creature Commandos, just like with
GI
the
Robot.
robot squinting and going, "That's something a Nazi would say."
That show is really good.
I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't gotten to commit to it yet.
Like I've seen better, and like it does feel a little bit samey for James Gunn.
Hmm.
Like if you've seen the Suicide Squad, if you've seen Guardians, it kind of has the same vibes. It's animated, so like
Yeah.
they can do some other things. But it is good, and the soundtrack's really good. It
Hell
has I think the current term is cabaret punk, where it's a cabaret punk band called Gogol Bordello, and it plays a lot of their songs, which is really cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I definitely need to give it a watch. It's
That
nice. I've heard that it's already been like greenlit for another season and everything.
I think so, but it's the first confirmed like DC universe media.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
with I think Peacemaker Season 2 is going to be in the same universe, and a handful of other stuff, but like Superman that's coming out in July, that's going to be the first big thing to come out with the new DC universe.
Hell yeah.
And like Superman looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll admit,
I saw little bits and pieces again. I'm not always like I don't see necessarily a lot of things.
that's fair.
But from little bits that I've seen, it looks really cool.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for superhero movies. I know they're bad. I know a lot of them are bad. Some of them are pretty good. I know it's like
Yeah.
it's popcorn media. It's meant to be like expendable. I understand there's a lot of suffering that goes into making them. I understand it all fully. But at the same point, like, if you don't
But
watch
they're cool.
they're cool. And if you don't
Yeah.
watch them, then like all the people who like wasted their lives away working on them, it's just going to go to waste.
Yeah.
Now, some superhero movies should go to waste. Looking at the Sony movies, with the exception of the Spider-Verse films, but those are an exception. But like Morbius, Madam Web, Craven the Hunter, those ones, like, everyone who was working on them, for the most part, knew that they were not working on something good.
Yeah, that has to be a rough time.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But with all the mainline Marvel movies and mainline Marvel shows, with the exception of a few of them, I've seen nearly all of them, and they're all mostly to a degree a level of fun. Eternals was really boring. Secret Invasion was just kind of whatever. I don't even remember watching Secret Invasion. I know I saw it, but I don't even remember it. The Marvels was kind of lame. Not because of it being a female-led Marvel movie. That has nothing to do with it. It was just a boring movie. Though the little like twist ending / like teaser ending was really good.
Yeah.
Which, spoiler for the Marvels, but like I don't think anyone here is going to watch it really, and no one here cares. Beast from X-Men shows up.
Oh.
Played by Kelsey Grammer, if I remember correctly. And Beast is like, hey, you're in a whole other universe. Welcome, and weird to see you here, but just calm down, alright? It'll be okay. And he looks really good.
Hell yeah.
And I like seeing more X-Men stuff in the Marvel Universe.
Oh yeah. I mean, X-Men is... I feel like X-Men has always kind of been a fan favorite that they've just kind of been keeping in the back pocket for whenever they need it.
They've faced a lot of difficulties, the X-Men, because like they're kind of hard to do right.
That's fair.
And they were done, for the most part, so well before. Not entirely, and there were a few misses, but like X-Men 1 and 2 are pretty good. X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, and those are pretty good X-Men films. The rest are kind of whatever. But
yeah.
And all the Deadpool movies are pretty good. But Deadpool and Wolverine was a fun watch. So I'm looking forward to see how they integrate the mutants into the main Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be I've been wondering how they're going to do that for a while, but they also, I mean, superhero movies with multiverses, all that sort of thing.
It's a bit tired.
Well, it's like they have at least like easy outs for it.
Yeah, it's a tired trope, but it works.
Yeah.
I like Everything Everywhere All at Once, but Everything Everywhere All at Once has irreversibly changed how we do multiverse movies.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a hard one to follow up.
Like, how do you top that?
Right.
Anyway, so tell us some tips about your art, like, or some tips for art, like how what are some things you would say to other artists or for people who want to like start doing stuff like you're doing?
Ooh. Well, definitely like one of the reasons why I did this for the stream is just to kind of showcase how important like planning out what you're doing beforehand is.
Yes, it
So it's
is,
like
because
I'm
that's my
spending
problem now.
yeah. Exactly. It's like there like whenever I get to actually painting these, I'll my hands have already made the movements before and I can see the parts that I like about this and the parts that I don't like about this and I can kind of edit that as I go into the real thing.
Okay.
Um, but it's really nice. I to make stuff like I do is not to take anything too seriously about it. It's like while I do have like pencil work down, um, I do not necessarily adhere to like every line must be perfect. In fact, I'm horrible at making perfect lines, which is why I do the lines like I do them. Um, do what kind of makes you what you like to do and what you find natural to yourself, and then that will kind of develop into a process that you like to do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's and people will like you for it. So it's like, or people will like what you do, and that just kind of following the way that you like to make art.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because what were you about to say?
as it's always cool hearing different artists' tips on how they started, or like
Yeah,
both tips on how they started and tips on how they get to where they are.
exactly. Well, and it's like you notice whenever you have fun, or it's like people notice whenever you have fun making work. So, because it shows in what you do. And I have fun with Magic the Gathering. I have fun in designing creatures. I have fun in like the way that I do ink work, and so that I hope that it kind of translates well into the work that I put out there.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite creatures in media?
Ooh, just creatures and media in general. So I'm a huge like D&D kind of focused kind of like in I played D&D in like middle school, so it's like I have a fondness for that menagerie of creatures. But like favorite just in general, kind
Yeah.
of like
Like
mythos and things. I definitely think that like there's such a cool vibe in trying to portray something that is like I guess like eldritch is a way of putting things, but whenever people think of eldritch creature design, they think of like giant thing with tentacles, but it's like portraying something that is like a concept that is not meant to be known. I think they did that a lot in like Duskmorn, where it's like, cool, we're taking common fears and we're giving them like a body. How do we make that thing look? Leads to some really cool like designs and everything.
okay.
Yeah. Thinking about like a ethos behind a creature design is really cool. Like some people take that from like I guess like just natural like biology stuff. Like there's people that get like way into like whenever they're designing a creature, they'll be like, and this is what its diet consists of, and so it's going to have this kind of anatomy because that's what the this kind of like creature's anatomy would look like if they consisted of a plant-based diet. And the people that get into that, hell yeah, that's cool. But vice versa, if like thinking behind the design of like what you're making, like this is its purpose, this is a little personality bits behind it, kind of make the design. But yeah.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah. I know that's not like a clear, like, I don't know if that's necessarily cop-outy or not, but it's like Minotaurs are cool too. I fuck with Minotaurs. They're cool.
I dig it. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to do a slot machine and see if I can pull it off with this uh altar.
Hell yeah. You got this. What about yourself? What is like
Huh?
some of your favorite depictions of I guess like creatures and stuff like that?
Oh, what's tough?
Right?
I like a lot of Jim Henson stuff.
Okay.
Like all of Jim Henson's creature works, I've always really been amazed by.
Yeah. Now
Uh,
remind me, Jim Henson, what are some of the things that he's done again?
uh,
It's
he's done Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Did he do Dark
He did
Crystal?
Dark Crystal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I absolutely. I had Dark Crystal on VHS
Nice.
as one of the only like. It was Dark Crystal and Veggie Tales was kind of like
Hell
my
yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah, my media that I had as a youngin. So it was like, hell yeah, I like this. I'll watch this on repeat.
They did Five Nights at Freddy's, the animatronics for that.
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to find other stuff they've done puppets for. They did Star Wars. They did a lot of the monsters
Oh
in
yeah.
Star Wars. They did Where the Wild Things Are, for the most part.
Another banger.
Or at least it looks like they've done work on Where the Wild Things Are. Sesame Street, The Dark Crystal, Dream Child, Labyrinth, The Storyteller, The Bear, 1988, The Bear, Lighthouse Island, Monster Maker, The Ghost of Fafnir Hall, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 90s one, The Witches, the
Oh
90s
hell yeah.
one, TMNT number 2, The Secret of the Ooze, 91, Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, Dinosaurs, The Polar Bear King, Honey I Blew Up the Kid, where they did a Big Bunny plush doll, The Muppet Christmas Carol, Wolf It, The Never Ending Story 3, The Flintstones, Babe, Cutthroat Island, 101 Dalmatians, the 96 one, The Adventures of Pinocchio, 96, The English Patient, where they did prosthetics, Muppet Treasure Island, The Phantom, Samson and Delilah, Buddy, George of the Jungle, The Odyssey, 97, Lost in Space, 98, Dr. Doolittle, 98, Jack Frost, 98, Alice in Wonderland, 99, Animal Farm, 99, My Favorite Martian, 99. My Favorite Martian, isn't that a Ray William Johnson project?
Maybe.
I'll look into that later.
Oh
There's a lot more movies that they've done. I'm not going to go over all of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about going into all of them, but there's a lot more of these than I thought there were.
Welcome to the new topic. We're gonna deep dive into all of Jim Henson's body of work. I mean, honestly, that'd be a banger stream too.
It would be going over every Jim Henson creature shop creature.
Hell yeah. Rate them on a scale. Gotta have tier lists these days.
That'd be a great tier list. Find somebody to like hang out with and watch
Welcome
every
to a very specific audience.
watch every Jim Henson creature shop production. Rank them.
Yeah.
I don't think I know enough about Jim Henson creature shop stuff to like understand like how deep that would go.
I mean, I feel like it's better if you don't understand, right?
They did the
Just go
tiger.
and...
They did the tiger for the Hangover.
Oh wow.
Where would the Hangover?
That has to rank pretty high then.
Where would the Hangover rank compared to Five Nights at Freddy's?
You know what? I think it ranks highly just if for the fact that I didn't realize that that was like a big old puppet tiger.
Yeah. Or they did some of the special effects of the Scarecrow in Batman Begins, but
Alright.
they also did the Snuggle Bear, like the Snuggy Bear.
Oh,
So like, how do you compare the Snuggle Bear to the Scarecrow in Batman Begins?
exactly. And that's the difficulty of it.
Wild. But yeah, a lot of their monsters that they've had in various things are really cool.
Yeah.
Did they do Dead Mouse's helmet?
I feel like a lot of people have done Dead Mouse's helmet. I mean, he's gone through a lot of variations.
Yeah, they did Dead Mouse's helmet.
Hell yeah.
So where would Dead Mouse compare to where the wild things are?
on the tiger from Hangover.
Tiger from
Uh,
the This is insane. Other monsters I like zombies from 80s movies.
oh yeah.
Like Tom
I
Savini
like
work.
I like any sort of like I feel like take on like a commonplace kind of like creature and then they kind of like mix it up a bit.
Yeah,
Which I feel like the 80s movies did really well with zombies.
yeah.
It's like
Honestly, a lot of 80s movies did creatures really well.
oh yeah, 100%.
It was the age of the weird creature. Like Gremlins. I love Gremlins.
Oh yeah. As much like excruciating detail as possible. I think we need to go back to that.
Hey, there's a Gremlins 3 in production.
I am interested but also afraid.
Yeah. I hope it's good.
Like it'll probably be good.
I mean, most of the original crew's on board.
Okay. In that case it's probably going to be good.
But it's also like kind of being not shoehorned, but what's the word? It's like nostalgia baity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's hard to find something that isn't nostalgia baiting these days too.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I'm not even nostalgic for the 80s. I wasn't around.
Yeah.
I'm nostalgic for Veggie Tales.
Right? I
So
feel like the VeggieTales experience is like did I hallucinate that as a child or was that actually a part of the show or not?
yeah, that's definitely fair. Like there's a Veggie Tales episode where there's just human hands.
uh see, I didn't have that VHS tape.
It was the one where they did like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or like Dr. Jekyll and
uh
Mr. Boogie, or whatever it was freaking called. And
I would have had nightmares, but also it would have became my personality.
there's just like a weird 3D animated hand at some points, and then it flashes back to the Veggie Tales, and the Veggie Tales were like, "What? What was that?"
See, that's Eldritch is like if you something that you can't fathom and something that shouldn't be within the world, and you see because it's like imagine 3D animated. If something is entirely in claymation, and you just interpose like a fully realistic thing, that's Eldritch. And that's why SpongeBob is Eldritch Media.
I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob when I was younger. My mom thought it would make me mentally handicapped.
uh, I was in a similar spot for I think my folks were like, you're allowed to watch Pokemon, but not Digimon, and I never quite understood that.
I wasn't allowed to watch anything anime for the longest time because my mom thought it was annoying and satanic. I had
Yeah,
Pokemon
I got.
cards, and my mom flushed them down the toilet.
Ooh,
Same thing with
well, I'm
Yu-Gi-Oh
sorry
cards.
about that.
Yeah, no, it was rough. But like,
Yeah, I was in a similar kind of situation for like gaming systems. I didn't have access to like any video games until like I want to say close to like high school.
I had a DS for the long. I had a Game Boy, a DS, and various. I had a lot of handhelds. I didn't have a lot of main consoles. My first main console was a 360 that I shared with my dad, and we played Halo 3 together and a bunch of other shooters.
Hell yeah.
I'll switch to my perspective and show off this slot machine so far.
Yeah.
Not terribly. I mean, not terrible. Pretty solid so far. I just need to tinker with it.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Leica. Leica's creatures are really good. Or Leica, whatever. You mentioned stop
Wait,
motion.
oh yeah, yeah. I think trying to remember. They did what all again?
Leica has done Paranorman, Coraline,
Paranormal, yeah.
The Box Trolls, Missing Link. They're working on a new one I forget the name of. And Kubo and the Two Strings.
I think one of my one of the people that I graduated with either did work for them after college or might still be. I forget if he is or not, but
Well, that's really cool.
right. And it's just cool. I think it was like near the end of his college. He saw. I think he just started doing miniature stuff, and it like full clicked for him.
Alright, neat.
Yeah.
I've done clay miniatures before, and like, I really enjoy making them. But the hard part is, like, I don't know how to, like, do them further or make, like, a lot of them. I just know how to make, like, a really cool clay figurine.
Yeah.
I,
Well, there's like all those technical sides to it.
yeah. Though I love stop motion stuff deeply, it's one of my favorite mediums.
Hell yeah.
So, a lot of people stop motion creeps them out, and I'm just like, what? What do you mean? And then I watch like creepy stop motion stuff. I'm like, all right, never mind, I get it.
Yeah. Did you hear that they're all out of what was it, grommet clay?
Yes.
Which is a tragedy.
Either that or Wallace clay, one of the two.
Well, yeah, it was one of them. I think it was grommet because I remember a beiginess, but I might be wrong. But I just think that is a wild fact that I didn't think about beforehand. It's like, yes, they made one batch of that clay. They used it for every movie.
So allegedly, oh, there's stockpiles of clay.
Okay.
Aardman only the rumor was Aardman only has enough of the modeling clay they use to complete the next Wallace and Gromit film because their usual supplier, the company to produce it, shut down.
Ah.
Just like there's a Japanese chalk that got discontinued that a lot of professors really liked.
And this is why we need art history.
Modern art history.
Exactly.
Like regular art history is like, yeah, that's important, but like modern art history is like, it's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, great. A new chatter that's complete. Oh, it's a bot.
Nah.
Let's get rid of that.
Welcome, robot.
This is not the robots I like.
Ah.
I draw cool robots, not lame robots like you. Let me go to my mod view, which is where I'm live. Why is it not showing me live? Channel, maybe? Creator dashboard, is that the right one? Stream manager. How do I do mod view on this thing? I have to do it on my phone, whatever. For some reason, mod view on my computer, I don't know how to access it, but mod view on my phone is easy.
Nah.
But Grim Corp's playing Balatro, and I got them into it.
I am afraid to try it, just because of my own addictive personality to roguelike esque experiences. Heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah. No, it's very fun. And, like, it's not that addictive. It definitely can be. But, like, it's not that addictive overall, I feel.
That's fair. I've been on the oh gosh. Recent kick was the Bazaar, I think, is one that I'm getting into.
I've been meaning to get back into Hearthstone and the Bazaar. I've heard it's fun.
Yeah. Bazaar is really cool.
I played Hearthstone competitively for about a year and a half, 2 years there for a little bit.
Hell yeah.
And I got one of the rarer card backs. And once Runeterra came out, I didn't touch Hearthstone. And then I stopped playing Runeterra once Arena dropped.
Yeah.
And I need to do more Arena content on stream just because I think I can do it well.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite Magic card or few Magic cards?
Ooh, so I am like like I said, I'm a very big brewer kind of person. So I also have the just the general need to play things that are considered bad, just to be like, haha, any card can be good. Um, so I definitely like favor cards that are probably not great, but are would be considered personal picks. One that people know me for is I really enjoyed the leather armor card from the Forgotten Realms. It was just like the 1 mana equip 0, give your creature 1 more toughness and ward 1.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like I love. Yeah, it's like it's free effect once a turn. Ward 1 is annoying enough to like thwart people. Um, and for the price of a 1 mana artifact, you can like ask every person, do you want to pay the 1? And that usually is tilting enough that it gets you some sort of advantage.
Hell yeah.
But I have a lot of loves in general. I enjoy color breaks in the sense of like I love making decks that are just not supposed to be um, the way that they are. Like I had a mono green aristocrat deck with Eudora. I had Boros Reanimator deck that I still fondly play, which is like Rograk Yoshimaru. Um, I like doing silly little things until people realize that they're good.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I've also been playing Commander like for a long time, so it's like and then did standard bits and pieces before that and draft and all that jazz. But whenever you do it for, I've never quite like taken a break from Magic the Gathering exactly.
Uh-huh.
So uh, I like to do things that I haven't done before.
Okay.
But yeah, what about you?
Uh, uh, card wise, my favorite card is Pacifism,
Nice.
which I can go on and on about for hours. I have. Then probably second would be Possibility Storm or Croak the Thumbless.
Ooh, Possibility Storm's a good one.
And then Brainstorm I really like, and I did a really fun artwork for Brainstorm that I'm proud of.
Have they? I'm not remembering super well. Have they ever like done a new art for Possibility Storm?
No.
There's so many weird or so many like out of you would think cards that would have like reprints or new arts that just don't. It still always surprises me. Like a big one, I think is like I don't know if it's like Blasted Landscape. It might be. It's like the colorless land that just has cycling one, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Not very many printings of that card, and thus no other arts. Or like Windfall was a big one whenever I was doing yours. I was like, there really isn't that many arts of Windfall out there,
Mm-hmm.
which always surprises me.
But yeah, Possibility Storm is a really fun card. I like playing, though a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people call it
Yeah,
a lot of people call it a chaos card, and I disagree with that. It is a
yeah. No, it's a like a Staxy Gate kind of card where it's like you want to make sure that what you're doing is kind of uninterrupted.
yeah. And decks with Possibility Storm are usually built around Possibility Storm.
Yeah. For a brief stint, I had mono red from the Doctor Who set, Araxa, I think. It's basically like mono red Prosper in the SIDS where you're not making treasures whenever you're casting stuff from anywhere else, but you're
Okay.
making 2/2 dudes.
Okay.
But you'd use it like a Prosper deck where it's like you would, include stuff like things to sacrifice your dudes to gain more mana and advantage, and you just do it in the same way, but mono red instead of Rakdos.
Yeah.
But
So
Possibility Storm was in that deck, and it was awesome.
I apologize, but we have run way longer than I thought we have. So is there anything
Yeah.
you want to promote or say before we sign off?
Uh, I mean, keep being cool, and I'm gonna be at MagicCon, and that'll be cool. I hope to see lots of people there. I'll be bringing number of decks that I have,
Oh yeah.
and I just want to meet people, which will be cool.
So where can people find you? I'll put some of the links in the YouTube description, but where can people find you?
Yeah, I am. I mean, mostly just like Blue Sky, and then I still also have a Twitter as well. Um, but at Angry Hissing for both of those. Yeah.
I'll ask about the source of that later, but that's a
Oh,
fascinating.
it's a quick and easy one. I asked my partner like what my username should be whenever I made a social media account, and they hissed at me. So I was like, "Angry hissing it is." We got that.
Brilliant. I love it. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, make sure to follow. Um, Thank you everyone for watching. Uh, I will talk to y'all later. I usually stream art streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I've been doing Minecraft on Sunday evenings. So just keep an eye out on my socials. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.